Okay, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Destination Talk Chapter 4. My name is Sanket, and there are many guests who are joining us today for the first time. So, I would just like to introduce myself. I am Sanket Shah. I am an independent travel professional based out of Mumbai, and also I'm a freelance tour manager. I do take care of domestic as well as international sectors. So, and I've been into the industry since last eight plus years, and this is one initiative which I thought of kicking off because we all are locked down at our places. So passing on the knowledge, gaining some knowledge from you, and learning a new destination, three destinations a week is something that what my idea behind all this is. So just to give you a brief, we started with Kashmir, then we went to Ladakh, and last week we did uh, Andamans. So today we are doing our first international destination, that is Azerbaijan. Now, going with the post-COVID era of tourism industry, we all practically don't know what is going to happen with us in our industry. Having said that, everything will come to normal. We don't know when. So it is important to study domestic because domestic is the one which is going to get up very quickly, and that is the first thing to start when we get back to our work. But destinations which are near to India, I'm not talking about Europe or US or Australia, New Zealand. Destinations which are in Middle East, Eurasia, or something near to Southeast Asia are something which we can look forward to because these are heavily and highly potential destinations from the perspective of mines, leisure, as well as events. So, just to uh, talk about Azerbaijan. Now, Azerbaijan is something why I selected Azerbaijan because when we talk about Gulf countries or Eurasia countries, we all know what is UAE, we all know Kazakhstan, we all know all the in and out of it. But Azerbaijan is something which is into the Indian market since last couple of years, and today I am very much excited to introduce you all. Well, we all know him, the man who brought Azerbaijan close to India, not geographically of course, but someone who opened doors of Azerbaijan for Indian travelers, especially mice, by doing multiple groups back to back. And he's none other than man, Mr. Vikrant Grover, who is our special guest for this evening. And he represents Pasha Travel. He's a head of business development for the South Asia region, and a very good friend of mine. On a personal note, my partner in crime as well as my partner in rhyme. So someone whom I look forward to when it comes to many things in your industry. So thank you very much, Vikrantji, for being here with us today evening, and we look forward to hear from you so many insights of the destination from all the perspective, because Pasha is one of the leading, or I can say the biggest travel agency or the DMC for Baku, Azerbaijan. Having said that, I'll just go through the event flow, what we are going to do in this discussion or in this destination talk. I'll be starting up with the presentation, which will take not more than 10 to 15 minutes, because as per the feedback what I've received, everyone wants to see the things in pictures also. And then after that, we will have our guest, Mr. Vikrant, giving in his word about the destination for 10 15 minutes, and then we open it out for question and answers, wherein all your queries we both. And also I see that we have some teammates joining in here from Azerbaijan of Pasha Travel, so we all will be uh, looking forward to help you with that, with most of the queries. So that's it for today. So let's start with the presentation. The presentation: Azerbaijan, Baku. The average temperature in Baku would be 28 and low would be 7. The good thing about Baku is a all year round destination. If you are going there in extreme cold, you have activities to do. If you are going there in good amount of, like, say, May, June, July, August, we have so many activities to do, which we'll be discussing throughout the presentation. The currency there is Azerbaijani manat, and 1 minute is approximately 40 42 INR, and that's how it is. Azerbaijani is the local language there, and Azerbaijan capital Baku is also known as the city of winds. Throughout the day, it is windy, and it is also famous for being one of the world's biggest city located below sea level, and it also features Little Venice. So I'll be running through the presentation quickly, and then we come back to the Q&A. So when you check out the flights, you see that on this slide, I have kept Air Arabia as the biggest picture and Fly Dubai, Emirates, Qatar just have a mention of it. It is because of Air Arabia that we have got some really good it is because of Air Arabia that because of we have got some really good connectivity throughout India. So Air Arabia flies from 16 or more than 16 hubs from India, and all of them almost at the same time. So we reach Sharjah in the morning at around 6:30, and then we have a connecting flight from there to Baku, which is at 8 o'clock in the morning. So Baku, the arrival will be 10:30, 11 o'clock, something like that, and the return flight from there is at 4:30. So the flight timings are well connected to all the hubs. Also, Emirates flies from maximum hub, and Fly Dubai flies from multiple hubs. So we have connection of Emirates and Fly Dubai if we want to fly via Dubai. And Emirates doesn't have a flight from Dubai to Baku, but it is in code share with Fly Dubai that it happens. And also we have Qatar Airlines flying in via Doha. So this is about the connectivity. Connectivity wise, no problem. 2.5 hours flight from any hub to say Sharjah, from Mumbai to Sharjah, and from Mumbai ahead flight is again 2 hours only. So it is a destination within a good reach, and something really looking up to it. So wow, destination. The location of Baku is around the Caspian Sea. We can see this Baku is on the banks of this Caspian Sea, and Azerbaijan. On one side we have Armenia, above we have Georgia, Russia, and below we have uh, Iran. So this is about the location, and this is the city of Baku. We have this all the important uh, sites marked here. So this is going ahead. Now this, when we talk about Baku, even though it is a good destination for leisure or a solo traveler or a bachelor party or any kind of destination activity or anything, but main it is for mice. So this presentation I have done, it is based on a 4-nighter mice itinerary. Of course I've tried to cover maximum points in this. If not, we can do it 3-nighter, and we can do it 4-night, which is what it is suggested. But a 3-nighter itinerary is also possible. So we'll be discussing day by day, one day each, and then we move ahead. So welcome to Baku. I have a short video of this. I hope we are able to listen this properly. So that's our introduction video of Baku, and now we'll be discussing the first itinerary. Okay, day one, welcome to Baku. Normally we arrive by 10:30, so coming, clearing the customs and everything, we come out by 11:30. We drive towards the hotel, and we have lunch, the arrival lunch at hotel, or we can have Indian restaurant also. On the way, because of the check-in, can have a at Shiravansh Museum. And then before we start with the orientation tour, we can have a high tea in the hotel itself or again at the restaurant. So that is one thing which is on day. Now ahead, the orientation tour will include a normal city tour with Highland Park, Flex Square, Ferris wheel. All these activities can be done on day one itself. Now talking about the flame tower, the iconic flame towers of Baku. This is how it looks in the evening. It is illuminated.
Now, during the flame tower, is there specific timing for the sound and light show which goes on out there, or is just the lighting?
We will get to the question and answers once we are done with the presentation. So sorry for that. Okay, moving ahead. We have a of Little Venice also in Baku, wherein we can enjoy a boat ride. A boat can take 4 people comfortably, and the ferries will. It is like a Singapore Flyer, but a very smaller one. And okay, ठीक है can be an activity if we are doing mice. And day one we have dinner club kind of setup, because Baku nightlife is, we all know it is. So just to give the feeling of that, if you have a big group, we can take it exclusive and we can do our evening here. It is on Electra Club. Indian catering is also possible. Moving on to day two, we have some really good itineraries and activities in Baku when it comes to the mice part. So go karting, shooting center. We have indoor as well as outdoor, and again lunch. We have a city tour. A walking tour will take around 1.5 to 2 hours, and it will be followed by this streets. We can also offer our clients some ice creams during the city tour. This is one Maiden Tower which people can go up for a beautiful view, and this is located in the old town itself. Then we have Carpet Museum. It is a photo stop from outside. It is near the bank. It is a main boulevard area. So we do this, and from the activity point of view, we go to Baku Olympic Stadium to do some really good activities like bodybuilding, body zobbing for team building activities, archery, and in the evening we come back to the Caspian Sea for a high tea on a cruise. Now this is one example wherein I've mentioned high tea, but it can only be a cruise or a sunset cruise experience, also depending on the budget of the client. Again, dinner every day we can plan at.
Unable to hear it.
Hello, everyone mute. Everyone please. Okay, moving on to day three. Am I audible, Vikrant? Am I audible?
Absolutely audible. Sanket, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so day three. Now, considering the mice point of view, we need to put it with and fill it with an itinerary which is more of activities and excursions. So, उनको reply दो, connect to audio, join your audio from. So this is one excursion, Shadak Sky Resort. So this is one excursion which is around 211 kilometers from the city of Baku, and it's a 3 hours drive. Herein we can arrange some snow activities if we are planning this from the month of December to March. We can't do a snow activity without snow, so this is not possible if you are going there in the summers. For summers, we have other option which I will share it with you, and we have some ski resort activities and all these things. We can arrange an Indian DJ during our lunch and things like that. So also a high tea in the evening in the ski resort itself with the vodka shots. It's a करके we have dinner, and the day ends on day 3. Again on day 4 we are in Baku itself, Hyder Ali Museum. Then we do this I love Baku sign photo stop. We can visit the museum from inside, and then we do the photo stop of I love Baku. Madrid Tower again from inside. During the city tour we went only for the orientation, so now we can go inside and go up. Also wine tasting is an option. There are two types of wine tasting. One is in the old city itself, which is very small and chota sa, and one we can go on the outskirts, and there we can have this experience. Lunch at Indian restaurant. Again, being the last day of the itinerary, we can give them some free time at the Nizami street. Again, an option of going to the mud volcano, which is very famous. We can drive in a 4x4 there, and then this kind of jeep will take us to the volcano. So this is one good activity, which is around 70-75 kilometers away from the city of Baku. And then at hotel or a venue, it is up to us. So that's what day 5. Day 5 we do the burning mountain of Azerbaijan, that is Anardag and Atishgah fire temple, a must visit sightseeings, but we are doing it here in the last day, which we can of course do it aage piche, that is not a problem. So after this we move shopping at Ganjlik Mall. We can give shopping at Sadrik Market. We can give shopping at the Old Street or the Nizami Street, wherever the client is comfortable and as per our itineraries. Finally, transfer to the airport. This is our day 5. Now, what else? What else? We have Gabala also. Gabala is like around 220 kilometers one-way drive from Baku. It is also kind of a ski resort, but we have mountains, we have cable car going there, we have ATV rides, we can have shooting range activity. All these things are possible in Gabala. Having said that, if the client is interested in having a 3-night Baku, 1 night somewhere else, then Gabala can be one destination which we can look forward to. We can have something like this sweets for our client, that is baklava, then a traditional welcome. In some hotels here we have mentioned only the 5 stars, the Marriott Boulevard autograph collection, then we have Fairmont Flame Tower, Pullman Baku. That's it. So this is the presentation. Now we will move ahead. Just a minute. Okay, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So the things which you are seeing behind me are the flame towers of Baku, and now before we open it for Q&A, I would like to go to Mr. Vikrant Grover for his input. Yes, Vikrantji.
Sanket, thank you so much for bringing me onto this platform. I see a lot of my friends already on this platform here, and already a lot of our existing clients. And I hope everybody is staying indoors and staying safe when we are in this situation. So just to give you everybody a little bit idea about Azerbaijan is that Azerbaijan is the land of the fire. You know, what is most important about everywhere that you see in Azerbaijan is about the fire. You see the flame towers. When you go, you see the Yanardagh, you see Ateska. Why is this? Because over various old times, fire has been very important with the Azerbaijani culture. You will find people, if you are building a house for yourself and you're digging, you would find probably oil losing out of the place, your house in the backyard. So oil has been very important, and because of so much heavy presence of oil in the nature, in the atmosphere, the fire has been a very important part. Azerbaijan, in fact, for me, is the first country when I visited in 2017. I fell in love with it. It's not about being part of Central Asia or Europe or anything, but this country, this city, Baku, has a mix. It's a blend of Europe, a blend of Turkey, a blend of Arab countries, and a blend of Asia, of course. Why is it very close to us as Indians? Why do I see a lot of Indians visiting Azerbaijan? Is because I've seen in Baku is the only city. I've been to more than 90 countries in the world. I haven't seen a people visiting a Hindu temple in every part of the world. there is Atesga, which is a temple which was made by the Hindus. And that is like one of the most important sightseeing places for people in Azerbaijan. Everybody who visits Baku visits to see the Ateska. If you look at the local Azerbaijani food, irrespective of the Indian food, the cuisine is a mix. Now, when people were doing their trading during the Silk Way, it was on the Silk Route. The people would stop in Baku and in Sheki, and they would blend with the local culture. And what happened when they would blend with the local culture? The traders, everybody had their own cooking style, and the same cooking style was adapted by the Azerbaijani. And that is why you see Azerbaijani cuisine is very similar to Indian food. But successfully, our company has been, Pasha Travels has been a pioneer in, bringing this destination to India. And we have been working very closely with Air Arabia to do this. And so far we have been successful. 2017, we had almost close to 3,500 people. And in 2018, we had close to 35,000 arrivals from India. Last year, 2019, we were close to 64,000 people in Azerbaijan. This year, we were hoping to double our numbers, but as of now, looking at the current COVID-19 situation, we don't know where it is going to go once the lockdown opens and how it is going to be. And when you look at the city Baku, it is totally different from my expectation. When I first reached Baku, it has brand new roads, brand new infrastructure, modern hotels, modern restaurants. I have not seen a city after London where you have such a big blend of restaurants. You can find every cuisine in every corner of Azerbaijan and Baku as a city. You can find European food, you can find Arabic food, Lebanese food, Mexican food, Italian food, Indian food, everywhere. And it is picking up. The food culture is picking up so much that people are eating outside most of the time, and the restaurants are not expensive at all. The destination itself, when packaged in a good manner, is not expensive at all. All of you who have already been to Azerbaijan or are already doing business to Azerbaijan, we can get you a 4 nights 5 day itinerary at a 5-star hotel for less than $300. The visa is simple. You send us your passports, a scanned copy, only the front page. We do the visas and we send it to you. No verification, no refusal, nothing. Nobody asks you even a question. You get your visa, valid for 3 months, and you're allowed to stay in the country for 30 days. That's it. Simple. So I think, the way tourism in Azerbaijan has boomed and is at a boom, it is a great destination for all our participants and all the travel fraternity across the globe. Because number one, the Azerbaijani people are very hospitable, they're very welcoming, they love the tourists, they are very gentle towards them. they they will, like, help you, guide you in everything that you need. Even if you're not traveling with a group or with a company, and you go there as a walk-in and just book your trips on your own, you will find people helping you and assisting you at every point of every point of contact that you have with them. And in terms of activities, I think, this is a city which has taken and adapted activities from all over the world. We've got shooting, we've got adventure activities, like you can do go-karting and you can do kite surfing, and you can go to the seas, the beaches where they've got beach sports. You can also go to the mountains where you can do ski. Mountains and ski resorts in Azerbaijan are the best. I know Sanket has a prime focus on Baku, but if at any forum you guys connect with me or on my email, I can tell you about regions in Azerbaijan which have the best ski resorts. These are ski resorts which are like 1/3 the price or half the price of what you pay in France or what you pay in Italy or Austria to go and ski. So this is like Shadak complex. They have the best hotels. Name the international chain which does not have a hotel in Azerbaijan. Four Seasons, Fairmont, Pullman, Marriott, JW, everybody. And we're opening more. Last month, when I was there was an Ibis which has opened already there. And very soon you will be hearing more and more new names of international chains which are opening hotels in Azerbaijan. We are not only catering to Indian markets, we are catering to all over the world. We get guests from United Kingdom, we get guests from Canada, from America, from Africa, from all over the world. It is a destination which is popular all across the globe. We've got an increase in tourists from Japan, from Korea, from China, everywhere, all over the world, all over the Asian countries. People are traveling to Azerbaijan now. The north is the Caucasus Mountains, where a lot of people like to combine it with the neighboring countries like Georgia or Iran or Russia. So that's a little introduction that I have given to everybody about Azerbaijan and how I feel about Azerbaijan. I will tell you about our company. Our company, Pasha Travels, is a part of Pasha Holding Group. We are the largest conglomerate of companies, in business companies in Azerbaijan. Not only in travel, but we also own hotel chains. We own restaurant chains. Our restaurant chains include 2 Indian restaurants. The finest and the best Indian restaurants of Azerbaijan are part of our restaurant chain. Our travel team is very well versed with the Indian market. We've handled the largest Indian groups, incoming Indian groups year on year, Indian weddings. We've catered to every possible Indian catering that can come to my mind. We've done food from Bihar, we've done food from Punjab, we've done food from Kashmir, Marwadi food, Jain food, South Indian food, everything. We've got chefs who work with us. We've done foods of every kind, whether it is chettinad or it is any kind of a cuisine. We've done it for our clients, and our teams have the best chefs. We've got chefs who worked in Fairmont in India, who worked in Marriott hotels in India, and they're all on board with us anytime to assist your guests, with any food requirement. And when it well, I would like to, now, Sanket, leave this to a Q&A session, because if people have any doubts, they can ask me, and I don't want to elaborate too much on a business itinerary or itinerary or anything, because you've already covered that in your this thing.
Okay, so a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. See, first reason that why the presentation was quite a bit in a hurry. See, the entire idea of this destination talk is to have one-on-one discussion, so that we have got guests directly from, say, the person who knows in and out of Andaman. So that is the reason. The PPT, if you want, I can email it to you later on. But our focus is on the discussion. So that's the name, Destination Talk. So now we will keep it open for Q&A. The first question coming is, why visa is so easy without any documentation and no security? Any reason? Of course, they want to promote the destination. That is one basic reason. And I don't see any other reason apart from that, right, Vikrant?
Okay, I would like to take up this question specifically.
Yeah.
The visa was not easy for Azerbaijan, but the visa was made easy for Indian travelers to Azerbaijan, because the government decided to target Indian tourism, and they know that Indian tourists are nice and they travel in big numbers. That was a decision that was taken with the government along with our company, and we told them that they should make the visa flexible so that we get tourist arrivals from India. If you are not residing in India, trust me, it is the same process as a Schengen visa if you have to apply for a visa to Azerbaijan.
Okay. Also, we have got one question asking, what would be the approx costing of a land package for 4 night, 5 night days itinerary?
So 4 night, 5 days itinerary starts from approximately $225 to $250, starting with a budget range 4-star hotel, and it goes up to what you look at. If you look at a decent 5-star hotel, not part of a chain like a Pullman or a Marriott, you can get it in around $340 to $400. It depends all on your inclusions and exclusions in a 4-nighter itinerary. How many activities are you doing? What kind of restaurants are you using? What kind of menus you have, and what kind of gala dinners you are planning?
Okay. What's the main reason Azerbaijan is more affordable in comparison to other destinations nearby?
Well, this is our packaging. This is what we are doing for people. We want more and more people to come, and we are making it more and more affordable for you. We're having meetings with the hotel associations, with the restaurant associations. And then also the government has a taxation policy where they are promoting tourism in a big way. They want more numbers. They want more nice tourists. And they know, they accept. India has been a partner with Azerbaijan since many years. Indian traders have been going to Azerbaijan. Very fact that they have an Indian temple there, they are very welcoming and they look at Indian tourists. And
Yeah.
that is the reason it is affordable, because the government is working on tourism in a big way.
Yeah. So what is the visa fee? Hardik, the visa fee is $30, 30 USD. And I will take the question from the top. Yeah. Vijay sir is asking, apart from coaches, what kind of vehicles are used to visit local sightseeing or excursions like Mud Volcano? Also, what is the cost difference between 5-star and a 4-star hotel? And what is the average cost for a buffet meal in a good Indian restaurant? And what will be the menu metrics?
So, Sanket, to answer the first question, the options to go to the mud volcanoes are vary from a Mercedes Sprinter,
Yeah.
which is a 15-seater van, to a 2-seater car, a sedan car, which is like a local Lada car, which is available on the spot. Additionally, to do this, if you want to enhance the experience of your clients, you can rent an SUV to pick you up from the hotel and take you there. We've done it with many groups where we pick up the guests in Land Cruisers. From the hotel, we take them to the mud volcano in the Land Cruisers. It's more like a desert safari experience that they create for you. You know, you go up and down the mountains and people really love it and enjoy it and they come back. If you want to enhance it more, you can also get Indian tea and samosas and sandwiches and pakoras delivered to you there by our team. And we've also very recently, for a client of ours, we did barbecue around the mountains of the mud volcanoes. We got them to a mountain place where we organized a barbecue for them. It was barbecue along with Indian food, Indian dal rice, and it was with biryani. So that is the first answer to your question. The second question was, I think, about the price variability between the 4-star and the 5-star restaurant. Well, a decent chain 4-star hotel like a Park Inn by Radisson or a Holiday Inn or Ibis, which has now opened up, would cost you around $60 to $80, varying between what hotel and what part of the year it is. And a decent 5-star hotel like a Pullman or a Boulevard or a Inn Tourist would cost you approximately $90 to $110. And I would say a little upper brand like a Fairmont or a JW Marriott or a Hilton would cost you between $110 to $150. It is all depending upon the season, upon the size of your group, and whether you have FITs or leisure or not. These are all MICE rates because I understand and I speak mostly the language of MICE. And I think the third question was about the restaurants. So a decent buffet, which we call a 2+2 menu in a lunch, where we have 2 vegetarian main dishes and 2 non-vegetarian main dishes, along with dal, mix of breads, rice, salads, curd, and 1 dessert, and drinking water and soft beverages, is approximately around $10 to $13. It is again depending upon the group size and the restaurant you are choosing. There are restaurants, Indian restaurants, which charge you approximately $20 for a similar meal, and there are restaurants which also charge you around $13 for the same meal.
Yeah, and we are getting a question asking maximum what size of group we can suggest for a MICE.
So we've done up to 800 people in one go, landing on one day and managing them for 4 nights. And this year we were doing approximately 1,200 people together on one day in Baku. So there was a series of 400, 400, 400, 3 groups landing on 3 consecutive days and organizing a gala dinner for 1,200 people together for us and managing it. And at a same time, we have handled close to 2,500, 3,000 people in Azerbaijan in a month span. Like, in 4 days, we had like 2,000 people on the ground in Azerbaijan with Pasha Travels, where these were not one big group, but multiple groups within the city handled by us.
Okay, thank you, Vikranji. Couple of more questions coming from Keval from Trip Navigator. He's asking, is it recommended to have a day trip to Shahdag or an overnight stay?
I always am a big fan of overnight stays, but I know how the dynamics works for Indian MICE groups. They do not like to pack and unpack too much. So if you are doing Shahdag, I would recommend you to do a day trip if it is a MICE group. So you can go to Shahdag and you can engage in the activities, eat lunch, and come back. You can start at around 8:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and you're back in your hotel by 8 o'clock in the evening. And if you are on a leisure trip, if you have people on a leisure or if they are families, then I would recommend them to stay in Shadag and enjoy the place, enjoy the snow, enjoy the hotels there, and enjoy the environment there, and stay a night or two.
Okay, and now coming to the question from Cable, do we have option of vintage car transfers?
Of course, you have. We can give you vintage car transfers. We've done it for Indian weddings, and we can also do vintage car transfers. And if you don't want to pay a heavy cost for vintage car transfers, because all over the world we know that vintage cars cost quite a bomb. So what we can do for you is in Baku, we've got London cabs. The taxis in Baku, like the ambassadors we have in India, they've got a cab which is very much similar to a London cab. We can also do transfers for dinner venues or sightseeing or airport transfers in those vintage cabs.
Thank you. Now, very important question coming in. What about nightlife in Baku?
Nightlife is in Baku is very, very nice. It's very thrilling and very, very interesting. We have nightclubs like Energy, Electra, Madrid, and various other clubs. But I personally feel that, and I always tell my clients, is to go to the nightclubs which are run in a proper and a decent manner. The nightlife is very nice. It's easy access. Not all the clubs have entrance charges to you, but they appreciate if you are coming in couples, if you're coming as groups, and the music is nice, and it's not expensive at all to go to these nightclubs. They're absolutely safe. Nobody, I have not heard in my last 3.5 years of selling Azerbaijan as a destination to Indian market, not even one incident where a client has been cheated or he's had a problem or he's mugged or anything.
Okay. Apart from the mentioned itineraries in our presentation, what other adrenaline experience can guest purchase or we can offer to the client?
Well, when you talk about adrenaline adventures, I can give you a whole lot of list on this. The biggest and the best adrenaline adventure that I have personally done in Azerbaijan is kite surfing. Not many places in the world offer you kite surfing. You surf on the water and you fly also with the kite. So that is like the best. The ski slopes in Azerbaijan are amazing. If you like to ski, and if you can really learn how to ski, these guys teach you to do a ski course for 3 days, and the third day you're skiing in the mountains. So this is like really, really nice. And for people who like to engage not in a heavy body involvement kind of adrenaline, what they can do is they can do off-road rides. If you go to the mountain regions, we can get you proper those big tire off-road cars which can take you to the mountains and through the water streams and everything.
Okay, the capacity of Baku ferries wheel and the duration. I think duration is 12 to 10 or 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah, and the capacity, one cap.
Sanket, cannot tell you about the capacity right now, but I think it can take somewhere close to 80 to 100 people. But depending upon the winds, what is there? A lot of people come to us and tell us that Ferris wheel is not happening, but they don't understand that Ferris wheel is very, very wind-centric kind of a ride. If there are heavy winds and heavy currents, the Ferris wheel will not operate. So sometimes you take a group of 40 people, they will make them, they will put them in one coach and then they will keep the second coach vacant because they have to balance the weight.
Yeah. Okay, one coming in from Zaid from SODC. Which other city can be added along with Baku? Kabala?
Zaid, how are you doing? I know Zaid pretty well. So you can add up Gabala and you can also add up Shadag. What is also happening is that we are introducing a few more new cities to the Indian market this year after the COVID crisis. There is a city called Lankaran, which is a beach city, 2 hours away south of Baku, and it's located south of Azerbaijan. It's a beautiful city and it has got black sand beaches and everything. So all these three cities can be added as an option with Baku.
Okay, and how about the Indian food arrangement in Gabala and Shadag? Possible?
Gabala, we have Indian restaurants. We have 3 Indian restaurants. We've catered to 500 people, 600 people at one go in Gabala. Okay, if you have large groups, we can take Indian catering to Shadag. As of now, Shadag has Indian chef inside Peak Palace Hotel, which is a Marriott Autograph Collection hotel. So we have Indian food, but the cost is not same. The cost to eat in a 5-star hotel is the cost to eat Indian food in Shadag. But we were doing a large Indian group in February with for Asian Paints from India, one of our toughest clients, and we cater to almost 300 people eating Indian food in Shadak for them. But then all these logistics have to be worked out, where you take chefs and you take caterers from Baku, or you bring them from India and you do it. But we've done it all.
Yep. Is there any activities like helicopter ride, seaplane, or a Segway?
There is no Segway right now in Azerbaijan, but I think in 2020 we will have Segway rides, and we have helicopter rides, but it is a very expensive and a very limited, you know, activity. So if you have VIPs and if time and all permission permits, we've done helicopter rides to Nakhchivan and to various places. You can also take a helicopter and go to Shadag or Gabala and come back.
Okay. And one question coming in asking for, can we bring our own event vendor? If yes, is there any cost to it?
There's no cost.
Yeah.
Every Indian company brings their own event management companies, and they come and they work with local agencies. But if you want to avoid that cost, you can come to us directly. Give me your designs. I will make it for you and I will charge you the price. So a lot of Indian companies, the bigger companies, when they come to Azerbaijan, they involve their event management company. They work with a local Azerbaijani company, or they work with us directly, and we do everything for them. We've done events for as big as like 500, 600 people. We do a show in Azerbaijan, which is called Zara, which is attended by more than 2,500 people from all over the world. So our team organizes everything. So if you give us your layouts, your designs, we will do it for you. You don't need to pay somebody in between, to come and manage it for you.
Okay, one question I have, can we arrange for Harley Davidson bikes for a rally kind of thing?
No, we don't have Harley Davidson rides in Azerbaijan. In fact, two-wheelers are not popular in that part of the world, as all of us know.
Yeah.
Right now, in last 1 year, I have seen people developing a liking for two-wheelers, but this is what they buy for their own personal this thing. So this is not America, guys, where you get Harley Davidsons, find them very commonly on the road. Because of the traffic and everything, two-wheelers is not really very popular there. But yes, we can get you self-drive cars if you want to do, and you can also take cars on rent and go to the mountains and ride them on their own in the region.
Okay. Vikranji, is it possible to arrange for a multiple cruise if we have a larger group size? And what is the normal capacity of the evening cruise? Like
a normal capacity of an evening cruise is somewhere close to 150 to 200 people, but I do not see any organization of a large cruise ship, because the cruises are not there. See, Caspian Sea is called a sea, but it's a lake. It's the largest lake. Due to its size, it is called a sea. So there is only one boat which is called the Miravari, which is run by the government.
okay.
We've done it chartered for our clients, but it is maximum 40 minutes to 1 hour. You cannot rent the boat and eat meals on it or do anything, any kind of an event on it. Though that facility, as of now, is not there in Baku as a city. Yes, if you go to the closing and nearby cities, there are people who do it, but they are not with a permission. So your insurance, once you're into the water, your insurance holds no value.
Geeta's got one question. Is nightlife safe for ladies? Can ladies go and enjoy the clubs?
Geeta, it is very much safe, and we've done ladies only tours and groups for a lot of ladies coming from conservative families, and we have ladies in our team who go with them to the nightclub. It's absolutely safe, and nobody will unnecessarily come and trouble you till the time there is another objective to it. But it is absolutely safe. All the women in Azerbaijan, the young and the old, they go to nightclubs on their own. They go with their friends who are women, and it's absolutely safe.
Mr. Weber is asking, can I get some idea regarding the payment criteria and booking formalities if I need to book for a group?
Mr. Weber, you can write to us depending on your group and how we are. We will let you know the payment policies. We work on different policies and contracts with our clients. Every client is different. Every payment is different. If you tell me you're bringing in 10,000 people in a year, we will sign a contract with you and have a payment understanding around it. So everybody is different. There are clients with whom we take 100% advance 30 days before the arrival, and there are clients who we give 30 days credit also, depending on our relationships with them and understanding that we have with them.
Yeah, Mr. Alankar is asking, can we do a private F1 racing circuit racing in the circuit for our MICE clients?
There is no circuit in Baku for F1. It is a city circuit. The road that you walk on, the road that you drive on is the circuit. It is not like the JP Noida F1 track we have in India or in Bahrain or in Abu Dhabi or in Malaysia. It is like the Monte Carlo. It is a city circuit, so there is no way that you can drive on the streets with F1 cars with other traffic. But yes, to give you the same thrill, we can take you to the larger go-karting tracks where we make you wear the F1 suit and we give you the scoring on the board and everything, and we can do a team building for you for 3 to 4 hours. We've done it for many clients, and I'm Mr. Weber. If I get his details, I'm happy to share details with him.
Yeah, sure. Apart from Nizami Street, malls and souvenir shops in the old town, is there any option for cheap shopping?
Well, a lot of Indian groups head to a place called what's it called? Sadrak. It is 35 to 40 minutes away from Baku. That is where you get a lot of exported and imported stuff where you can do cheap shopping. But for me, Sadrak is compared to a Chandni Chowk or a Bhindi Bazaar in Bombay. Chandni Chowk in Delhi and a Bhindi Bazaar in Bombay. It's more like a wholesale market where people from all regions of Azerbaijan come to buy their stuff, and the shopkeepers take it to further sell there. So that is like what is considered as the cheapest shopping place. If you are looking at fridge magnets, what you get for 1 manat in Baku, you can probably buy 3 in Sadrak for 1 manat. But then it's more like a wholesale and a just market.
Okay. One question from Mr. Paras. What is the maximum duration itinerary that can be made only for Baku? A 3-nighter, or we can do even a 4-nighter?
Well, the maximum we've done is 7 nights. Yeah. It happened last year in June with an association where we had 200 couples staying for 7 nights.
Wow. Keval is asking, are the joiners free? I think no, Keval, not every hotel. Some yes, but not every hotel.
This is, Sanket, a very sensitive and a very non-debatable discussion to be had on this forum. But since somebody has raised it, I can answer it. There is nothing called a joiner free or a joiner fee in Azerbaijan or with the hotels. All the hotels do charge you a joiners. They may charge you in their room rate or they may charge you separately. But it is always advisable and suggested by us that please follow the legal way and do it because it is for your own safety.
Yep. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do we have more questions? I hope I've covered all the questions.
Well, I think I see a question about F1 happening this year. No, all the international events are closed for Azerbaijan this year. In the month of June, we had Formula One, which is now postponed. I think it may happen or it may not happen. We are not clear about it. There was Euro Cup, which was happening, which is also cancelled. And I think in July, we have the Zara Musical Festival. We don't have an update about it yet. But looking at what is going across the world currently, we're not sure, if somebody would like to do this.
Vikranji, Keval is asking from Navigator that the event setup thing, like you have your own event team and your own event equipments, or if they give it to you, you will outsource it to the third person?
We have our own events team, which is part of our organization. See, in Pasha Travels, we have too many companies. Within our Pasha Travel brand, we have companies like Baku Sightseeing, Pasha Holidays, etc. So similarly, we have our own events team, which is in-house. They don't sit in our office, but they are part of our same group. So they will not, now how they do it is like, if I have done I know that they have the largest LED screens in 3.5 pixels in Baku. We've used them in multiple events with multiple suppliers. The largest event management companies of India have worked with us there, and they have done events with us. So everything is in-house.
Okay, Swati has a question. Lonely Planet had a post about your Caspian Sea island to experience snorkeling and couple of other activities. Does this really exist, or is it an old information?
Lankaran, Swati, is the place where you can do it. But since this is a special interest activity, not very popular, it has to be, there are few people who do it, so their availability has to be checked, and it has to be booked much in advance.
Vedant is asking, can we have a travel specialist program in Azerbaijan like we have other tourism board or other countries?
I'm sorry, what specialist?
A travel specialist program like we have a certification course, something like that.
So Sanket, Azerbaijan Tourism Board is a very new body. It was formed in 2018, and it is not. They do not have a specialist program as of yet, where a training program and not. But I am 100% sure, and we have been on calls and meetings with that board on a day-to-day basis. They are in the process of designing something for Indian clients, a training module. But I don't think so. It is going to be ready very soon now.
Okay. There's one question coming in from Archita. Any new gala dinner venue suggestions other than hotels or Indian restaurant where we can have mixed cuisine?
Well, there are too many gala dinner venues in Azerbaijan. If you look at, the Azerbaijani weddings happen in wedding halls, which are very opulent and very well decorated. So if you have any event, we can give you one of these wedding halls and these venues. Apart from these wedding halls and venues, there are historical monuments which can be made available to you. But it all depends upon the, client's interest. What is he looking at? If you want, I can get you a venue inside Shirvan Shah Palace, which is like the most visited places in Azerbaijan. I can close an area in the old city for you to do your events. There are old hammams which can be given to you to do your event. So whatever you want, it all depends on the group size and the interest of the client. We've done gala dinner parties inside the Polo Ground. We've done gala dinners inside the Shirvan Shah Palace, and also we've done a dinner party on the top of the Maiden Tower.
Okay. Swati is back asking, did any of the MICE companies this year did Lankaran, or is it going to be something new to look forward to in 2021?
Swati, this is something new, and not in 2021. We'll make it happen in 2020 for you.
Okay. Before we end, see, I would like to say something that the upcoming destination which I am planning will be a mix of domestic and international. It will be in domestic. I am looking forward to have Rajasthan, then Amritsar along with Himachal. And in international, it will be Belgrade, that is Serbia, and again Georgia. We are looking forward, and Bahrain, the Gulf country. So these are things which are in pipeline. Also, of course, the Q&A will go on. I'm just interrupting in between. Uh, do share your valuable feedback with me on my personal number so that if anything else can be done from my side to make it more useful for the participants, I will be more than happy to do that. So we have a question coming in from Arup with regards to SIM cards. Can the DMC help to get it for the client?
As many you need, we will give it to you. Before arrival, we can share the numbers with you, and we make it like a CUG plan for you within your groups. It's free of call to each other.
Super.
So Sanket, since you mentioned Georgia, I would like to throw some light on it that, we also cater to Georgia as a destination, and it is very well connected to Azerbaijan. 45 minutes to 50 minutes a flight from Baku, you're in Tbilisi, and Azerbaijan has multiple borders with Georgia. I think there are 4 borders or 3 borders which I have crossed myself, and it's driving from Baku if somebody likes to do long drives.
Yeah.
So that's a little thing to add to this. Huh?
Yes. And I will get back to you when we are doing Georgia.
Thank you so much.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do we have more queries? Anyone else? All the email IDs which are there in the chat box, we will surely send the presentations latest by tomorrow morning.
So I would just like to, Sanket, in the end, say this, that if anybody has any doubts or needs any this thing, they can take down my number. If you could leave it on the chat, or somebody from my team can leave everybody's names and emails on the chat. I think I have Turaj from my team on the call. Turaj, if you could leave my email ID number and your email ID and team's email IDs, it will be great. People can write to us directly. We will be always, we're a 24/7 team. We guys are always accessible on WhatsApps, whether it is a Saturday or a Sunday or anything. and you can reach us on our WhatsApps, and you can ask us anything or any details. If you are filling in a bid for your clients, you can let me know. I am based in Delhi and Bombay. I can come down with you, meet your clients. If they have a big bid, you need our support to convince them to bring to Azerbaijan. We're always around. We can also speak to the tourism board and bring them along with us. So it all depends on the scale and the scope of the business that you have.
Yep.
We're always around, and that's it. Thank you so much for bringing me on this forum, Sanket.
Before you go, Vikrant, hi. I just wanted to say a quick hi in case you can hear me.
Of course,
Yes,
I can.
Yeah, so the entire team, because since you're a partner in crime only with Sanket, I thought I'll say a quick hi.
Thank you so much. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, locked up but pretty good. Yeah.
We're all locked up, huh?
Yeah.
And I heard. I think I heard we're gonna be locked up for a while now, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We need a kennel now. I think we're all like bloody locked up in the house. Yeah. But anyway, good fun. Yeah. Nice guys. Sanket, very good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Vikrant, thanks so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, and I would like to, say namaste to everybody, and stay safe, stay indoors, and I hope we're all back to traveling very soon. And if there is anything we can assist you, we're always around. And thank you, Chok Sau, Dhanyavad.
Thank you.
Ciao. Ciao.
Vikrant, before you log out, and Sanket, I would vouch for you. We have worked together for Azerbaijan, and one can, blindly go with you with Pasha team and work ahead. And
Thank you
Sanket
so
is
much,
again a
Akshay.
gem of a.
Thank you. I know I have a lot of my clients on this chat, and I know they can all say the same to us. But thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Divyanshu bol raha hu.
Alright, Divyanshu bhai, thank you so much.
Anyway,
Bye bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sanket. Well done.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Vikrant. Thank you for joining in and for all your insights. Thank you really very much. We are coming up with really good sessions, and I really seek your support, everyone's, for the attendance and everything, so that it keeps us motivated and we learn something different, something new, and something for our own self. So thank you very much. Stay safe, stay home, and please take care of your family, of yourself. Please bahar mat jaiye. Thank you very much. We are locked down till 3rd of May actually now.
Okay. Bye bye, Modi sahab.
In fact, I'll tell everybody in this group, I'm Divyanshu, that even if you know the itinerary, if you know the place, still rework, learn something new, do something creative. Because I've been to Azerbaijan, I don't know how many times, but still I followed the entire, this presentation just to see if I would have not missed anything. You go every time, but you miss sometimes some or other thing. So that's the reason I was here. And I would request everybody, since we all are free, we have time, attend, learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Devanshu sir. Thank you. Okay, we'll keep the chat open for a while, and then we end the meeting. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining in.